Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Wednesday, September 16th, 2015, around 7:49 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. Nice and sunny day out again. Highs in the 80s, a tad humid, but something to be bearable. Some news to report. The Baltimore Orioles beat the Boston Red Sox by a score of 4-3 last night in 13 innings. The Texas Rangers are in first place in the American League West. And it's Happy National Working Parents Day. And it's Happy Independence Day in Mexico. That's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is a continuation of the top 10 list of everything and everything. I've now reached the top 10 greatest Piper's Pits of all time. Piper's Pits was a talk show hosted by the late great WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Piper, and it was big in the 1980s. And here are the top 10 Piper's Pits of all time. Number 10 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time was Rick McGraw, October of 1985. Rick McGraw was a preliminary wrestler in the WWE, a jobber, and he was being interviewed by Piper, and Rick McGraw says, "Why don't you wrestle on television?" And then Rick McGraw punches Piper, and next week on television they have a match, and Piper just destroys him. A few weeks later, Rick McGraw passes away, and they thought Piper, when he beat him up, killed him and stuff like that. Number 9 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, the living legend Bruno Sammartino in October of 1985 at Madison Square Garden. This was a great Piper's Pit. This started the Bruno versus Piper feud on house shows throughout the WWE. It was, one of the best Piper's Pits. Number 8 on this list, the Haiti Kid, February of 1986. After a match that the Haiti Kid had on Championship Wrestling, Piper and Orton grabbed the Haiti Kid and brought him to Piper's Pit, and the Haiti Kid said that he hopes Mr. T beats him at WrestleMania 2 in a boxing match, and Piper and Orton shaved the head of the Haiti Kid and give him a mohawk like Mr. T. Number 7 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, Brother Love and Morton Downey Jr. at WrestleMania 5. This was the return of Rowdy Piper to the WWE in 2 years after he was filming some movies and stuff after he took a retirement, but that retirement was quote unquote to do movies. And this Piper's Pit was very awesome. He blew smoke at Morton Downey Jr. and he also attacked Brother Love. Brother Love was mocking Piper by wearing a kilt. It was very, very funny. Number 6 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, Paul Orndorff at the first Saturday Night's Main Event in May of 1985. This Piper's Pit was like Piper blamed Orndorff for the WrestleMania 1 loss, and this got Orndorff to turn face and to align himself with Hulk Hogan. Great Piper's Pit. Number 5 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, Mr. T, February 1985. This was a great Piper's Pit. It was on the set of the A-Team. This was to start to hype up WrestleMania 1 tag team match between Piper and Orndorff versus Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. This was a great Piper's Pit. Number 4 on this list of the top 10 Piper's Pits of all time, Andre the Giant in March of 1984 when Piper was interviewing Andre got mad and lifted Piper in the air. This was a classic Piper's Pit and stuff. Piper was a great antagonizer and he was one of the best heels of all time. Number 3 on this list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant in February 1987. The hype of this was several weeks prior. Hulk Hogan got a trophy for his 3 years as WWE champion, and Andre the Giant comes out and said 3 years a long time. And then the next week on Piper's Pit, they had Andre the Giant get a trophy for being undefeated for 15 years, but it was a smaller trophy than Jesse the Body Ventura said, that arguing about, the trophies and stuff, and then they agreed to have a Piper's Pit with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant confronting. And then Hulk Hogan was on Piper's Pit, was introduced first, and then then like Jesse introduced Andre the Giant, and he had Bobby the Brain Heenan, and this was very, very, and Hogan was getting mad about why is he aligning with Heenan and stuff, and Heenan said Hogan was hiding around Andre, and Andre says, "Get your hands off me" to Hogan, and then with the cross and challenged him to a match at WrestleMania 3. That was classic. Number 2 on the list of the greatest Piper's Pits of all time, Frankie Williams in April of 1984. Frankie Williams was a preliminary wrestler in the WWE who lost every match, and Piper asked him, saying, "Why do you lose so much on television and stuff? I might lose," and stuff like that. And then Piper beats up Frankie Williams and stuff, and he said this quote afterwards, just as thought they know all the answers, I changed the question. Very, very good. But the number 1 greatest Piper's Pit of all time was Jimmy Superfly Snuka in June of 1984. This is when, like, Piper was mocking him about Jimmy Snuka, about, fruits and stuff, and he says coconut and stuff, and when Snuka says, "Are you insulting me? I'm not insulting you," then he hits the coconut and beats Snuka and stuff. This was the classic Piper's Pit to start off the feud between Piper and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. This was probably one of the best, segments of any talk show in professional wrestling history, the coconut incident. And that's about it on this. Be back later, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, 2 more video blogs. One will be about Week 2's NFL predictions, and the third video blog will be about WWE Hall of Famer, former Women's Champion Wendy Richter. Keep calm! And I'm a Julie Bretton guy. Julie Bretton rocks and has nice legs. Molly Rosenblatt of Fox 35 is stunning and has nice legs as well. In the words of Sean Luce, get out! Bye!